Rushed error messages look scary at first, but the problem is not the error. The problem is how we read that error. In this video, we are gonna learn how to read rushed error messages step by step by using real world examples. So now let's talk about our rule number one, which is if you got any error, don't panic, just read that error. That's it. We don't need to actually read the entire error message uh, because rushed error messages are long and detailed, not because they are hard. So what we'll do is we just read the core error first. So for that, now let's look at this example where we have created a function called greet and we are taking a name as an argument and we're printing hello and that name. And in our main function, we are calling that same function greet. And as we can see, we are getting an error on this line. So let's see what that error is trying to say to us. Uh, by hovering on this diagonal, we can see there are so many lines to look around, but we'll only look at the core error message, which is this line, where it's saying expected string slice but found string literal. So now that we know what error is and how we're going to fix this, but now the question is, are we going to change our function implementation or are we going to change uh, where we have called that function? So if we again look at that error, we can see that it's pretty clear that it's expecting a string slice. So we have to change our where we are calling that function. So we'll fix um, on this line. So let's fix this error. So as you can see, we have solved our first error bug. So now Rush is telling exactly what's wrong. We just have to look for that error. Now, so now let's talk about rule number two, which is look for highlighted error lines. For that, we're going to take another example. Just a second. For this example, we can see that this line is getting highlighted error message. So now we're going to hover and see what that error is trying to say to us. Uh, Cannot assign next because it is uh, borrowed and it was okay. The error is trying to say to us is that we have created a mutable variable and we are passing that reference to that variable. So how are we going to fix this error? We'll just will transfer that code to its own scope, so it won't affect our current scope of code. So let's fix this. So as you can see, we have fixed this error. And for those of you who don't know what actually this is error related to borrowing and referencing. And for those of you who don't know what borrowing and referencing is, you can let me know down in the comments. I can make a video on that topic too. So now let's come to our uh, just a second. Now let's talk about our final rule, which is reduce the big error message to one sentence. So for that we are going to take another example, and for this example we are going to take a uh, generic error bug. So let's see that. So as you can see, we are getting an error on this value line. So let's see what that error is trying to say. Again, by hovering on that error and this diagonal is got open, and we can see there are lots of error messages, but we'll ignore every messages and we'll just look for one core error message, which is this line, where it's saying our uh, generic T generic T does not implement debug. So what that means is actually it is a generic and trade related error bug where it's saying uh, that println macro cannot print any generic value because println has to know that what value are we going to pass. So we can predefine our generic type so that println can know that. Uh, so yeah, there are going to be this type of errors which we are going to pass to this function. So for that we are going to uh, give a type to our generic T. So let's give a type for that. We'll import a standard library. Wait a second. Okay. We have imported our standard library, and now we're going to use FMT, which is utility function for printing value, and we are going to use debug format, which that error is actually saying about. And now we'll save our code and see if we have fixed our error or not. So as you can see, we have fixed this generic error as well. And if you don't know what generic is in Rust, you can also let me know in the comments. I will make a video on that too. Uh, to summarize this, we have learned so far in this video. We just need to do three things: read the error code in first sentence. Second is look for expected versus found, like is it a type error or not. And the third thing is reduce the error to one simple idea, because uh, we have to trust our Rust compiler. It will be on our side. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you.